Alright guys, I thought I would just record a speed run of the homework for this week, which is working with N8N and setting up a flow that involves a form, an AI agent, and Google Sheets. So let's look at it from beginning, and you can just use this video and follow along. Alright, so I've already opened N8N and I'm on the free trial, so I'll assume you're on the same page as well. But if you're not, just go to n8n.io and sign in and get started. It'll ask you for an OTP if you give your email, and once you're signed in, you should be able to see something that looks like this, or it might just say create a new workflow from scratch. So in either case, you're looking for a create workflow button, or you can just go back to the overview and then click on create workflow. So I'm going to do that now. All right, so just to recap what we want to do, I've just clicked on the notes symbol, and we're going to just say create a form and to connect an AI agent. And we're going to use Gemini because they have fairly generous keys. 3 is connect to a Google Sheet, and that should be our first flow. Okay. So let's go ahead and create our first node. So I'm going to click the plus and then click on form. You can see there's multiple triggers. There's different things that can start the entire workflow. I'm going to click on form submission. Now on form submission, I'm going to give the form a title. Let's say marketing ideas. And description, type your marketing ideas and we can help you with, type your idea and we can help with your marketing. Now I'm going to add a form element, so this currently doesn't have any questions, so add a form element to what is your business idea, and it's already set to a type input, and let's just see what that looks like. So if I click on export step, execute step, it's going to say this marketing ideas, etc. And I will just say Lego Cafe, and it says it's a test version, so that's all fine. And the form has been submitted, so I can close this window. And you see here in the output section, it's got the business idea. That's my answer to the question. And if I want, I can rerun it. And remember, everything in N8N has 3 parts to it, every node. That's the input, that's the process, and that's the output. Okay, now that we have our input, we want to now connect to an AI agent. So let's go ahead and click on the plus here, and I can click on AI, and I can click on AI agent. And now here, I can choose a prompt which will interact with this and give me some output. Now, because this is coming from a form, by default an AI agent assume that you want to chat, but in this case I will say use define below, and now it'll set a prompt. And keep in mind, the prompt is what you would give to, even a Gemini or a ChatGPT. You can do the same thing over here with the addition of taking the previous input so that it uses that as part of the prompt. So let's say I wanted to come up with 5 amazing marketing ideas for my business of, and here I will drag and drop this button over here, which is that option that I had previously given. So the question over here comes over here. So I've just dragged and dropped that over here, and that'll give me this output. Now if you see here, it says result, come up with 5 marketing ideas of Lego Cafe. And you can see this as an output of the result, while this is the edit mode. And let's say if I did want to try executing, it will give me an error because it's missing a chat model. So let's go ahead and click on this plus, which will take us down into a chat model, and will ask us to select a specific chat model. Now, Google Gemini is quite generous with their AI models, and they're giving away API access to their models. So let's go ahead and click on Gemini. So I can just type gem to get the Gemini chat model, come over here. Now, in this example, I've already added a credential, but I'm going to just quickly create a credential just so you can see how that works. Now, if I go to aistudio.google.com I can click on the bottom left where it says Get API Key. I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll click on Create API Key. And I will just say N8N test. So it's created a key, N8N test. And over here you can see copy API key. So let me copy that key. And I will go back to my workflow. And I will click on Create New Credential. And I will paste the API key here and click Save. And you can see it saved it correctly. So I'm going to close this. And this is account 4. So it's going to select that. That's done. And yes, and by default, it might have selected 2.5 flash. Again, you can choose a different model. There are some newer ones that are better. There are some smaller ones that are cheaper. The flash models are generally good enough to get most of our work done. And I will click on the top here where it says AI agent. And now let me try running it again. And now you can see it's taking my previous input, which is already locked in, and it's going to run it. It's going to send this message to Gemini. It's going to get the response back and show that to me in a couple of seconds. It'll usually take a couple of seconds, depending on the tier. There you go. So you can see here, let me just look at the output. It's cleaned it up a little bit, so you can see the output over here where it's taking the idea. It's giving me a lot of text. So maybe one tip might be, give me the top 5 ideas for digital marketing. So again, I'm trying to reduce the amount of text. You can of course vary this. For the purpose of this, I will just simplify this to 5. And this tool I really like because you can keep trying multiple prompts, tweaking it until you get the kind of output that you're looking for. If you want a very specific output, you can also give a specific output. And if you want to set up more options, like if something fails, what to do, you can change the chat model, all of that. And that's what makes N8N really, really powerful. It's not just for simple use cases, but it could potentially run your business to some extent. Okay, now this is run and I was able to see some output. And now what I'm going to do is go to step 3, which is connect to a sheet. So I'll go ahead and create a new sheet from scratch, and there's a shortcut I can use for sheets.new. And I will just give this title over here of business idea and marketing ideas. Now, the way N8N and Google Sheets work is the first row is the name of the column where you want to store certain information. So just give both of these as the things that you want to store. And because I know I'm going to capture the business idea from the user, and I'm going to use AI to generate business ideas, I'm going to keep both of them. Maybe in some cases I don't need the business ideas, so I'll just save the marketing ideas. Maybe I just want to save the form, and there's no AI part, but whatever it is, just make sure that you have the columns. And now I will just save this, N8N flow, and I'll copy the link. And over here, I will come to my output section, and I clicked on the plus, so the output of the N8N, the AI agent, and I will type in sheets. And here I'll choose append row in sheet. So what that means is it's going to add the output of this into a sheet. And now I will click the document from URL, just so it's easier to understand. And then from the list, I will choose the first sheet, which is sheet 1. Now if you see here, it's going to show me those 2 values that I've got previously, and it's going to allow me to save or store whatever I've got in the previous section. So I can store the output, and I'll drag and drop from the left side. And also, because I can use the previous node's information, I'm going to drag and drop from form submission and save that over here. Oops, looks like I've done it actually the wrong way. So I'm just going to swap these. Let me just do that again quickly. So the first is the business idea, and I'm going to go back to the agent and then drag and drop the output. and then I'm going to execute just this one step. And what it's going to do, it's going to run this again and give you the output. So it's running the AI agent, which will usually take a couple of seconds, and now it's saving it in the sheet. Love this animation. And if you see that sheet, I can actually see that it is actually taking my idea and it is generating, there it is, sorry. It's taking the business idea and marketing ideas, and this is the business idea that I've typed in, and this is the marketing ideas that it's come up with. And this is Google Sheets, so let me just make the first row sticky so it's easier to read. Now, this is just a simple use case of taking a specific form and generating some sort of AI analysis and then giving some output. Now, if you can imagine, the same use case would extend to anything you can think of where some sort of input is coming in, some sort of AI is working on this and storing it somewhere, etc. If you made it this far, a little bonus thing as well, you can actually connect your Gmail to this as well, where you can say, I'll add another node for Gmail, and I will just say send a message. So in this send a message Gmail, I can connect it to my Gmail. So in this case, I've not done that yet. So let me just click on create new credential, sign in with my Gmail, select the Gmail account, and give permission for this, give permission for this. And this will close. And once this is closed, you can actually see that the window will give me permission. And I'm going to now just send this to myself, and with the message of marketing ideas, and over here I'm going to drag and drop this message button over here, right? And I'm going to click execute step, and it has sent the message. In fact, let me just open up my sent items over here, and you can see that it has sent this. Now, this isn't perfectly formatted, and since you made it this far, let me just give you one final fix about this, which you might appreciate. If I go back, at the end, I can just say respond in HTML format. And let me just run this once, and this should give me HTML text. HTML is the coding format so that the email understands the markup. So when something is bold, something is not bold, etc. So you can see it's got the email in some tags. There's some HTML here and there. And let me just try saving this. And then saving this. And now if I go to my sent items again, you can see that, there you go. So now it's got some nice coloring, nice email, etc. Right? Okay, so hopefully that gives you a very clear set of instructions of how you can set up a form, how you can set up an AI agent, how you can connect that to a sheet, then connect that to a message. You can do a lot more things with N8N. This is a tiny fraction of what is possible, but hopefully this gave you an idea of how AI agents work. And congratulations, when you finish this, your first comprehensive AI agent that you can say you built yourself. All right, and as usual, if you have any questions, drop it in the group, and all the best. Have a great day.